It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
A very, very, very Merry Christmas from all of us here at 2K Sports. Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Ernie Johnson. Ho, ho, ho. Happy to be with you.
Yes.
Shaka Claus. Tonight, we'll be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against the Los Angeles Lakers at Staples Center. For the Lakers, they...
Welcome to a special presentation of the NBA on Christmas Day here on 2K Sports. We want to wish each and every one of you a Merry Christmas. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by Chris Webber, Greg Anthony. On our sideline is reporter David Aldridge. And a bit of a treat for all our fans out there. The one and only Kobe Bryant's going to join us for this portion of the broadcast. Kobe, what a great honor to have you with us. Thanks for stopping by.
No, happy to stop by. Thanks for having me.
You might have a career in broadcasting, though.
I'm good. I'm good.
No chance, huh?
No, thank you.
I'm glad we've got you tonight.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Right there. Oh, let's go home. That was just ridiculous.
I do not remember the last time I saw a dunk like that in a game. Ball, the pass to Lopez. Ball with it, guarded now by Aaron Brooks. Pulls up. Lopez, no luck. 3-on-3. Here's Gibson. Good D by Lopez. And the Lakers with possession here. Talk, Kobe, about some of the great one-on-one scores. You might be the best ever, actually. But when you take a look at the crop now, who are some good guys in that one-on-one category that you like?
Kyrie's sensational. Yeah,
great handle. How about his handle? Like one of the best ever, man.
Yeah, but he can post too, though.
No,
I mean, that's the thing is he can post up. He can turn left shoulder. He can turn right shoulder. He can shoot a left-hand jump hook coming across the middle. He can pull up going left. He can pull up going right. He can attack off the handle. He can attack off a triple threat. You know, he's built the game without any weaknesses. I think most players, should be thankful that he's not 6'6".
You're right. He'd be Kobe Bryant then, right? He'd be Kobe Bryant. But I always thought that, and his dad played big-time college basketball, played in Australia. Your dad played. I mean, there is something inherent, regardless of how much, that comes from the son of a pro player.
Growing up overseas as well.
Exactly, in Australia.
Growing up overseas as well. And look at his game being so fundamentally sound and having basic structure. There's a lot to be said for that.
Absolutely. And Kobe, your spectacular high school career at Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia, in that Philadelphia area, paved the way for your NBA career. Talk about some of the highlights of your days in high school.
Well, my days in high school were fun. I mean, I played in a small high school called Lower Merion High School, so not too many people heard of it. When you come to Philadelphia, the schools that you hear of are Overbrook, where Wilt Chamberlain went to school, Bartram, right, where Earl the Pearl Monroe went to school, right? But you never heard of little old Lower Merion High School, right? So it was a huge honor to be able to bring a state championship to Lower Merion and kind of put Lower Merion on the map, and that's the most exciting part about it.
Oh, a terrific story indeed. A huge honor, I'm sure. Kobe, a big part of the talent evaluation today is the psychological impact and that aspect, which I think will lead teams toward one prospect over another. If you were looking for personality traits in players and you were making that decision for a team, what trait would you value the most in a player?
No, curiosity. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's curiosity.
Why so?
Because curious people will always ask why things work or don't work.
And you were a big why asker.
You have to, because that's the only reason you win, is when you can figure out why things happen or didn't happen. Right? If you lose a game, a curious person won't point the finger. A curious person will say, well, why did we lose? Instead of just saying them. Right. They're going to go back and check the film and ask questions. Okay, why did we mess up there? Why did we blow that coverage there?
Ball, no good.
You can't be missing shots like that in the post. That'll get you a spot on the bench.
Kobe, LeBron said he learned so much about how to approach the game when you shared the floor on Team USA. What was it like playing with a guy like him? You also played with Jordan, and then going up against him all those years.
Well, I think it was a shocking experience for them because I don't think they realized how much I talk trash. So, what? I don't think they knew because, when you from a distance, you say, Kobe, we thought you were really quiet and all some stuff, and you get to practice, and I just don't shut up. and I'm just saying really brutal things about their game, and it's just, they're getting really ticked off. But
Yeah,
then,
because you were right.
yeah,
Well,
but
you're
then the
honest.
intensity of practice goes up another level, and then we'd all go out to dinner, and then the next morning, we come into the meeting, and I've already been working out for 2 hours, and so then they see that, and then D-Wade would come up and say, hey man, I want to join you in your workouts. What time are we going? 5 a.m. He'd be down there working out. And then Brian would say, I want to come too. Then Brian would show up. And then Miller would show up. And all slowly but surely, we have our whole USA team in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning
What a
training.
constructive time out with
Oh, it was
for those other
beautiful.
players.
But it was fun for all of us because we got a chance to hang around each other and think about the competition, right? So now when we come back to the NBA, fans are getting a better product, right? Because we've all been working out and pushing each other and getting better off of each other. So now when we step on the court to compete against each other, that means we have to take our games to another level.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
He's solid on defense right there. He's just solid. Showing more versatility on that end of the floor.
And in the history of the NBA, only a handful of players have lasted 20 seasons. Kobe, you played all 20 with the Los Angeles Lakers, an NBA record for seasons with one team. What does it mean to just having worn that Laker jersey your entire career?
Well, I mean, it's a huge honor. I've always been a massive Laker fan, even when I was a kid. And so I never dreamed that I'd actually be wearing the golden armor for my NBA career. So to be sitting here right now, having played 20 years, is literally the coolest dream that could have ever happened to any kid happened to me.
And I don't know that it'll happen again. The way the league is structured now, money, the free agency, even though you had a chance to leave a couple times, you always chose to stay.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's loyalty is a word that you hear thrown around often. But in this day and age, it's very tough to see in sports because of the cap, because of the free agency market and so forth and so on. So I've been very, very fortunate to have a great organization and to be able to have played 20 years of my career here.
Ball kicks to Batum. Caldwell Pope with it. He had 19 points in the win against Portland. Tries to save it. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession. And the trend around the league, Kobe, is more offense, more three-pointers, certainly spacing, fluid offense. Scoring is up around the league in a measurable way from, it seems like, year to year. Do you like the way this is trending, or do you think the NBA should maybe put a governor on this, harness it in just a little bit?
Well, I think it'll swing back to the way,
Do you?
Yeah, because the game has gone through that progression before. It's constantly evolving. And so I think you'll see it swing back eventually. You'll have a couple teams that are just big and may have a dominant post player, and all of a sudden you're going inside, and then that team will win a championship, and then the rest of the teams in the league will try to copycat the way the game is played that way, and then things will swing back. So it's just natural evolution of the game, I think.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
And it goes out of bounds. That one off Butler. There's no reason for these big men to shy away from contact on the inside, because when they get to the foul line, you can see the success they've been having in the past month. Brook Lopez third.
And a lot of these big men take the confidence they have in the paint straight to the free throw line with them. I mean, that makes them very hard to handle.
Well, probably because they have that confidence that the D can't stop them. It's really demoralizing to the defense when they have to resort to fouling continuously.
Here's Ball. Coming off a solid outing against Portland. Lakers working the ball around now. Tipped away. It's stolen by Jones. Here's Muhammad. And Muhammad throws it down.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Oh, well, that's because it was terrific anticipation. Also, the quick hands, a lethal combination.
Jones dishes to Towns, and Muhammad has it in the corner. Back to Towns. Goes right through for bucket number 3. He's a perfect 3 for 3 to start. Kobe, you're a father. You've enjoyed that process, but basketball got in the way. A lot of it. How do you balance fatherhood and playing at the level you played at?
Yeah, when I was winning championships there, our kids were still relatively young, or I should say babies. In my last few years, they were older and knew that they could really feel my absence. And so what I try to do is try to bring them along for the process. So there were mornings I would wake them up and say, let's go. So we're going. Well, Daddy's going to go train, so let's go.
No kidding.
And I bring them with me. And they'd be in the gym shooting around or kicking a soccer ball around or hitting the volleyball around. But I felt like it was important as a father to not just tell them about hard work, but they need to see what I'm doing. When you're sleeping, this is what I'm doing here for 3 hours. And so they're a part of the process. They feel connected to the process. But traveling and things of that nature is very, very hard because there's been plenty of birthdays that I've missed and school plays that I've missed.
Ball's knocked loose. Randall passes to Lopez. Clock at 6. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. Traveling was a part of your job, a part of mine. You missed some things with the kids, but I know you take pride, Kobe, in the fact that you made it to a lot of things as well. You were not an absent parent.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's having a great partner. I mean, my wife has been absolutely amazing, which I think is extremely important as well, because she really held down the fort at home, which to me is the toughest job in the world to do. You know, I have it easy in terms of going out there and playing games, but to have the responsibility of actually raising young people to be outstanding citizens. You talk about pressure. I mean, that's you know, I have to ask how she feels about handling that. You know what I mean? Because that's true pressure.
That one's not going to go. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Luke Walton gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. He told me he's looking forward to the matchup tonight. It's their first time against this team, so he is curious to see what his guys do on offense. He said it's important that we're aggressive defensively, that we use our length and shot blocking as a deterrent inside. We'll see if they can be successful tonight. Kevin, back to you.
David, thank you. Do you think that's the right approach, guys?
I don't think it's ever wrong to focus on defense first. It sets a tone that can last for an entire game.
Oh, and it could lead to some easy points too, Greg. I bet you that they turn a lot of turnovers into transition buckets.
In competition, once again, Kobe, the thing that drives you so much, even on the practice floor, you and Jordan were so much alike in that regard. Is it important to go at your teammates and challenge them in those practices that you recall?
You have to challenge them, because if you don't, then they become conditioned to not have those challenges every day. Right? So if you come off of a night where you have a back-to-back, for example, and you have a practice the next morning, it's our responsibility to step into that practice and challenge them as if it was the game that we just played the night before. Right? Because if you do not, then you don't have that competitive spirit day in and day out, where then you feel like you can take games off because you can take practices off because you just don't have it in practice. Right? So it's our job to bring that every single day so that competing just becomes a habit for them.
And you learn about their mental endurance, their physical endurance during those practices.
Well, yeah, well, you challenge them to learn about themselves. Right? You challenge them to think about themselves. Can I push a little extra? I'm going to have to, because he's driving me like crazy. And if, you know, if I don't meet that challenge, I'm going to have to hear his mouth all practice long. I'm going to have to hear his mouth on the plane. I'm going to have to hear his mouth on the bus. I'm going to have to hear his mouth in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just compete.
That is really good work there on the offensive glass.
Mahimi's shot is good.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
Lakers trail by 7. Now here's Ennis. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Caldwell Pope with a wide open look. It's good. The assist that time from Ennis. Kobe, I'm assuming that you've had teammates come back later and say, Kobe, you made me a better player.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when we're playing together, they don't like it very much because I'm always challenging. But then at the end, like even to this day, we're all very close. We're all great friends because they knew what I was trying to do was trying to push them to be the best version of themselves.
Some say, Kobe, that the shooting guard crop in the NBA right now, a little light in terms of depth, not quite as many top 2 guards as we used to see play the game. Who do you like among some of the 2 guards you see now in the NBA?
Well, it depends who we're considering a 2 guard.
Right,
because
you know, they
the
just
ones,
blend,
2s,
don't they?
the 3s, they all just blend.
Combo guards are playing some forward position. It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. So, you know, shooting guards to me are guards that have to do everything. You have to be able to play the post. You have to be able to play the perimeter. You have to be able to play the point. You have to do everything. So I'll put Russell Westbrook in that category. I put James Harden in that category. I put Kawhi Leonard in that category. There's a lot of players I'm forgetting. Even Giannis, I would say, is a 2-guard because of what he does.
Yes.
So there's a lot of talented guards out there.
Did you like the ball in your hand, bringing it up, or would you have rather someone else bring up, then get it to you in the half court, and then do what you did?
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm jealous about Michael, because Michael didn't have to do that. Yeah,
right. Yes,
so,
right. Who always brought it up.
Yeah,
yes,
so he could focus on coming off the screens and catching and shooting. He didn't have to think about facilitating first. He could think about scoring and then passing out of double teams.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Jones, no luck.
Wow, he just does everything right there except hit the layup.
It's Caldwell Pope with the drive. Banked in off the glass. Caldwell Pope's got 17 now.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
Now Jones. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Feeds to Mahinmi. Butler from outside. No good on that last second attempt there. It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He notched 8 points in the quarter and has that terrific basketball instinct on display. And we'll be back with you shortly. And a guy who seems to improve every season, Jimmy Butler. He spoke with us about one of his biggest surprises.
It's crazy because I've never thought that anybody would be preparing to guard me night in and night out. But they do. I have to learn to cope with that and still find a way to be successful on both ends of the floor. And it's a learning curve for me also, but I'm figuring it out.
And hard to doubt the dedication of Jimmy Butler. He's found a way to overcome obstacles at each important point along the way.
You know, he's a self-made player, and if Butler can stay healthy, boy, the sky's the limit.
And we're ready to get rolling once again here for our Christmas Day matchup. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Timberwolves?
Getting high percentage looks, wearing down that defense on the inside.
Right, and as the defense collapses, that opens up inside-out opportunities. Productive first quarter.
On the court for Minnesota, Brooks out there with Crawford. Then there's Jimmy Butler. Then there's Ian Mahinmi. And it's Jang in at the 4.
And Kevin, plays like that are really the reason they've got a nice lead right now. Just a great job on the glass.
And Greg, the jam and the follow gets their whole bench jumping. Look at them. They are really into it.
But that's all about going back to the fundamentals. Defensive rebounding, you got to have it, especially when you're getting whacked.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
A lot of different ways to lead in the NBA, Kobe. It seems like your leadership style evolved over the course of your career. Talk about that aspect of your game.
Well, in the first half of my career, I was more of a tactician, more floor general. And then the second half of my career, I had to really start thinking about the emotions of the group and connecting with people more and thinking more outside in as opposed to inside out. But I was also, I was very tough on guys. I wasn't there to make new friends. I was there to help you be the best player you can be, to help us win a championship.
It's tough sometimes to have a guy that you're close to take some harsh criticism?
No, because the goal is what? To win a championship. This is why we're here. This is why I'm sitting in this leadership position. I owe it to the team to help us get in that direction. You know, we can sit here and be nice to each other and tell each other what we think we want to hear. And then at the end of the season, we can all hug each other and say, you know what, we'll get them next time.
Some changes for the Lakers. Bang comes in for Ingram, and Ball subbed in for Caldwell Pope. Picked off in midair. Out of bounds, the Lakers will take possession. Now let's take a look at how the shots have been divided up between 3-point shots and 2-point shots for Minnesota. Lakers trail by 5. Ball kicks to Nance. Now here is Bogut. He's covered closely. And here's Ennis. He averages about 5 points a game. That's in, and he's now 3 for 3 and looking sharp.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Aldridge kicks to Zhang. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Fresh from a win against Portland.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
No, but I like that they attacked those weaknesses. They made them pay for a lackluster effort.
Dang for three, and another three for the Lakers.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
And over the course of your career, Kobe, 5 NBA championships. Are there any of those that really stand out among the 5 that you accumulated?
The last one, beating the Celtics. That was the hardest one by far to get.
Why so?
Well, you know, we're going into Boston now with the series tied 1-1. And Boston is absolutely excited about having the split and going home now and having 3 games at home, thinking that the series was not going to come back to LA. And so that was an interesting playing fight for us. And then to go out and get the very next game, just to go down 3-2, coming back to LA, and then to finally pull out that series after being down 15 in the 4th quarter against the Celtics. Not getting better than that.
Well executed, and then you love the strong finish.
So many fast breaks now ending the three-point shot. Good to see them taking it to the rack.
Under the leadership of Commissioner Adam Silver, the league, Kobe, has been proactive, looking to improve the game. What are some changes you'd like to see coming up in the future?
Well, more physical play. That's one of the things I think, it just drives me crazy.
You never shied away from physical.
Well, no, I mean, this is the NBA, right? So I always look at the NBA as another level of play, another level of physicality. It's not the same calls that are being called in high school or being called in college. This is another level. And it certainly used to be that way. Now, there's a lot of little touchy fouls here and there that I'd rather see not be a part of the game.
That has changed, hasn't it?
Oh, my goodness. In Europe, the game is actually more physical. Think about that for a second.
Wow. Zubac is checked in for the Lakers. Batum comes in for Tyler Ennis. Towns, he's checked in for Minnesota. Muhammad comes in for Jimmy Butler. Back to Batum. He kicks at the ball. Bogut with a screen on Brooks. No problems knocking that one down. Bulls got 5 now. And Kobe, you look around the league and you see a lot of former players as head coaches, guys that you actually played against. Have you ever thought about coaching down the line?
Nope. No, I have not. Not for me. You know, it's for them, though, but it's not for me.
I would think that it would be tough to try to get the same result out of players you coach and not comparing it to the way you play, the way you prepare, the way you were coached.
That's what I hear. I just don't have the desire to even think about it that far. I mean, it's not something that I'm into. But that's the challenges I hear. You know, when Bird was coaching.
Oh! Textbook. Oh, wow. In your face.
Now, I would say that's a special occasion for a slam right there, Kevin.
What kind of occasion are you talking about? Why was he saving that one? My goodness.
Oh, it's an occasion for a poster because I love the athleticism, the creativity, a highlight we'll be seeing on repeat.
They get a hand on it. Zubac. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Zubac has got his first bucket in this one. Well, it seems like with more threes and more skill-based play, the league is adapting more of a European style of play. You grew up in Italy, Kobe. You know about that style. You appreciated that style. How did that impact your personal development as a player?
Well, tremendously. I mean, if you look at the era in which I grew up in Italy, you look at the players that came out of it. It's, myself, Pau Gasol, Manu Ginobili. I mean, there's a lot of players that grew up in that same time frame. That play the game fundamentally sound because I think all the coaches here in America were doing camps and clinics for coaches overseas.
Like QB Brown, right?
Exactly.
He would always go overseas in the summer.
Exactly. And so we were products of that teaching. So all of our coaches growing up were implementing the fundamentals and the basics of the game taught by these amazing American coaches. And so we were kind of fortunate in terms of the time that we grew up.
On the wing, Jamal Crawford. To the inside. And the dunk by Towns.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. Lakers trail by 9. Zubac, that's good. Zubac has got 4 this quarter. And Kobe, while those coaches were imparting the fundamentals abroad, did that get lost in translation, you think, here in the States?
Well, I think they just took it for granted. I think players took it for granted. And you start seeing the teaching starts slipping. It's like, you know, if you have a parent that's constantly telling you to clean your room, after a while you start tuning out the parent.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that is what happened here in America, which is why you see some of our fundamental skills erode over time.
Are you saying that your girls, your 14-year-old, 11, they tune you out?
Oh my God, yes. I could say something a million times, but if Beyonce says it one time,
Yeah. It's law.
that's it. Wait, dude, I've been saying the same thing for years. No one listens to me.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles. This is their first chance this season playing the Timberwolves.
And two teams here that were evenly matched a season ago as they split the season series.
Randall's checked in for Andrew Bogut. And the Timberwolves also making a change. Taj Gibson's checked in for Cole Aldrich. Here's Batum. He has 7. Hey, Kobe, you know, when you take a look at great NBA rivalries, your mind goes more to the past than the present. I'm not sure why that is, but maybe you can enlighten us why rivalries seem to matter more or more in our minds from yesteryear as opposed to today.
Because we can recall where we were when. Right?
Yeah,
the recollection is always more powerful in retrospect, right? I mean, that's always, you remember where you were when, you know, Magic hit that running hook shot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Some people can remember where they were when Nelson hit that shot that bounced off the back of the rim and almost touched the rafters and fell back in, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's those memories that create a lasting impact. And even though in today's game, you can look at it and say, there's no real rivalries in today's game. There are. But they're only sink in over time.
So you think the Cleveland Golden State rivalry, because the greats are on opposite sides there, will linger and will resonate like that?
Absolutely.
And here we go. Fast break. Towns has got it. It's hauled in by Zubac.
You expected him to drop the hammer there, but the D was just good enough to cause the miss.
So last season, Kobe, one of the closest MVP races we've had in a long time, came down to Westbrook and Harden. Who did you think was going to win before the results came out, and why?
Yeah, I didn't even stop to think about that because they're both like little brothers to me. So even though I could sit there and say,
LA
okay,
kids too.
Yeah, I know them both extremely well, and they're both extremely deserving of it. So I've refused to split it.
Yeah.
You know, they're both my guys.
And different kinds of games and both sensational individual players.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal. I mean, they can do so many things in the game. And now I think the next progression for them is to be able to dominate the game off the ball just as much as they can dominate on the ball, right? Because in the playoffs, the defense has a hard time finding it.
And both free throws good for Brooks. And to have the ball in your hands at all times, always bringing it up. It's exhausting, though, right? That's what they say.
But
now, for you,
the defense sees you, right?
Yeah.
So if you're handling the ball, the defense has eyes on you at all times. You're here. You're right in front of the defense. When you don't have the ball, you're moving behind them. Curry moves behind. He'll bring it up, pass it, and now he's running off the screens behind the defense, right? And it's hard to find him.
Rip Hamilton the same way.
Rip Hamilton the same way.
I know.
Jordan, flare picks, down screens, slicing into the post, right? Coming up to the pinch post. All those operational things take place behind the view of the defense.
And the Lakers making a change here. Ingram's checked in. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Muhammad, good, and the assist goes to Towns. Muhammad's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
And Kobe, you played for a handful of coaches during your career. When you look back on it, was there one coach you wished you could have played for but didn't have maybe a chance to play for?
Greg Popovich. That's an easy one for me. Although I did play for him in several All-Star games.
Yes, you did.
And one particular All-Star game in practice, he came up to me and said, okay, do you want me to just kind of go through like a whatever practice, or do you want me to do the real thing? I said, Pop, you got to do the real thing, because I've been dying to see what really good goes on inside these Spurs practices.
Oh,
you
my
gotta,
gosh,
You
yeah.
got to give us a real practice, man.
Yeah.
And he did. And Tim just kind of looked at me and was like, dude, seriously.
What are you doing?
Come on, you're killing me.
So what was a Popovich practice like for you, and how did you try to set the tone?
It was high energy, and we moved from drill to drill, and it involved a lot of passing and moving and spacing. And so all of the shooting, it wasn't any individual shooting. You know, all the individual shooting took place within a five-man offensive structure, of ball movement, of passing and cutting, and all of a sudden your shot comes here in the corner, and then you slide up to the next line, and you dribble, penetrate, and kick it, and then you slide to the next line, dribble, penetrate, kick, right? So it involves constant movement where you're constantly training and conditioning the body that you're not just going to pass and stand and be a participant, right? You're going to be involved into that, in the action, not going to be a passive participant.
To the left wing, here's Ball, sinks the three-pointer. Ball's got it back down to single digits for the Lakers.
And now he's taken a solid opening in the quarter and built on it here in the second.
Towns kicks to Gibson, out to Brooks. Left side, Gibson. Back to Towns. Second chance shot. No good from Gibson.
Look, you can't defend down low much better than that. Refuses to give him an easy path to the bucket.
And Ingram with the basket on the assist from Batum. Batum's got assist number 5 here tonight. 1:39 left to play here in the half. Brooks kicks to Towns. Muhammad on the wing. Back to Towns. Muhammad on the wing. To the middle. Here's Gibson. Here's Towns. Oh!
Nice. He's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Insane dunk.
And now they're starting to rub it in. Build up a lead, and here we go, baby. It is showtime. Ball kicks to Randall. There's the pick, and the officials will call the illegal screen right there. And here on the 2K leaderboard are the teams with the quickest hands in the league. The Timberwolves, number 1.
And it's no accident to see them at that top spot, guys. I mean, great awareness and anticipation. They apply a ton of pressure defensively.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. Brook Lopez is checked in for Zubats. Nance comes in for Julius Randle. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he's checked in for Nicholas Batum. And it's Ennis in for Ball. Hey, Kobe, thanks so much for stopping by and having some fun with us tonight on the broadcast. Hope we can do it again real soon.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
Kobe Bryant. And Greg, how much fun was it to get to hear the perspective of Kobe and pick his brain while broadcasting a game?
I mean, it's just always interesting to hear what Kobe will notice about a player or a team that most fans, and for that matter, even some former players, they just don't think about. I think that's sometimes what gets lost with the truly great ones. Their minds don't function the way us normal human beings would go about looking at things.
And Gibson, here we go. That's tipped. Here's Muhammad, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Brooks. Brooks has got his 3rd assist on the night.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Nance with it. Now guarded by Gibson. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Here's Jones. Brooks outside. Clock at 6. Back to Jones. Behind me a screen. Fires the 3. Here's Muhammad. And so it's Minnesota. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Karl Anthony Towns. An impressive first half and a nice start for you guys. How did that happen?
I mean, yeah, we had some great days of practice. You know, this is what happens when you got some days off.
Got the spring in your step again. Thanks, Karl Anthony. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the 3rd quarter after this break.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime
Welcome
Show.
back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. The first half was all about Karl Anthony Towns. He had 20 points, 3 steals, and 4 assists. And Shaq, what do you think about what we saw from Minnesota?
Well, they really dictated the pace of the game with their transition game. They got out on the break every chance they had, and the time they could push the tempo, they did. And a lot of times they kept the defense scrambling like eggs with the cheese and apple juice.
And Kenny, let's get your thoughts on the Lakers.
Well, they're giving up too many high percentage looks, Ernie. They're not closing down the lane, and they're not going hard on the perimeter. That will get an L in any book.
That about wraps it up. Time now for the second half of the game. We go to Kevin Harlan for the call.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
Yeah, pretty much all throughout that first half, and he was taking care of his business on the low blocks and getting more than his fair share of dunks.
The power he showed, the explosiveness, just a lethal combination inside.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. And Chris, the team you spent the most time with in your career, the Sacramento Kings, what was it like playing in a smaller market? And do you think that's changed for star players today?
You know, I love playing for the city of Sacramento and the fans. Because we were a small market, I think we had some of the most passionate fans that I've ever seen in the NBA. But it was also tough, especially playing on the West Coast. You're the second or the late game. On the East Coast, many people don't see you. You don't have necessarily the support of everyone else because you're not in the largest city. So it definitely could be tough. But when you're playing a team like the Lakers or you're playing other Goliaths, you love it and you embrace that small David type aspect. And so I do think it's changed because of social media. I do think it's changed because of the internet and specifically the apps that you can now go into the locker room before and after the game. You can get a guy's thoughts right after he made a big shot or missed a big shot. And so I think if you would have had those tools, maybe it'll be different. But I think now definitely it really doesn't matter what market you play in. I mean, we were a small market at that time, but look, since it's been the OKCs and other teams that kind of have made everybody excited about basketball. So I don't think market plays that big of a part as far as your exposure and how much fans get to see you.
Good overview. Randall is the 4 with Lopez in the middle. Ball runs point with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to his side. They're the backcourt. And it's Batum in at the 3 spot. And that's the group for Luke Walton as we begin the second half. Stolen by Brooks. And the dunk by Towns.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Oh, well, that's because it was terrific anticipation. Also, the quick hands, a lethal combination.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying annex to narrow the deficit.
Well, also a miscommunication on defense. No one rotates over. See ya.
Butler dishes to Gibson. He feeds it to Towns. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Towns has got 4 points now in the quarter.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
They double him with Butler. Here's Ball. And there's another one for the Lakers.
Well, he's doing his best to get them back into this game. He's been money for the field.
Butler kicks to Gibson. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
And you can see that Butler is the total package. Solid at recognizing when one of his guys is open.
Caldwell-Pope on the wing. Beyond the arc. And again, Los Angeles with a triple.
And really, as the three-pointers keep dropping, you get the sense that the frustration is mounting for the defense.
Brooks kicks to Towns. Down low. No good from Gibson.
No one to blame on that one but himself. You get looks like that, you've got to take advantage.
Count that one. And the Timberwolves lead has been cut to just 9 points on the basket from Caldwell Pope. And Gibson, here we go. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
I mean, already hot coming into the game. Is it fair to say he's hotter?
Los Angeles calls timeout.
Well, you rarely get to see a player like Batum who has such a dynamic game at the shooting guard spot. He's one of the best rebounders at his position and defenders. Terrific passer and a very unselfish player.
And with Batum, he is one of the elite rebounding guards, no doubt. A large part of that is because of his height and length as a shooting guard.
Well, Batum is listed as 6'8", but he has a wingspan of a condor. I mean, his wingspan is reported at 7'4". Just an all-around great player who gives you so much when he's on the floor.
Checked in for Taj Gibson. And a look here at the shot chart for the Timberwolves.
And when you come into a game with the mindset of going right at the rim and not settling for outside shots, this is what your shot chart will look like. Every chance they've had to either attack the paint or play back to the basket, they've taken it, and it's been a complete success thus far.
Batum passes the ball. Batum dishes to Randall. Caldwell Pope kicks the ball. Hits it from three-point range. Ball's got 2 now from beyond the arc in the third for the Lakers. Here's Towns. A rebound by the Lakers. Lopez has got 6 rebounds in the game. Caldwell Pope kicks to Batum. And again, it's the Lakers from deep.
All these open threes they're giving up have really been the driving force on this run.
Minnesota leading by 5. And the dunk by Towns.
A one-man show offensively, and that's almost always good news for his team.
Ball dishes to Randall. Batum wide open. He fires. Off target from three-point range. Brooks the pass to Towns. And the dunk by Towns.
You gotta love his aggressiveness to finish inside.
Well, his leaping ability gives him a great advantage. Ball kicks to Randall. A floater. Rebound by Butler.
The D doing everything they can to cut him off on his way to the hoop.
Muhammad dishes to Jang. And finished off by Jang.
And it's about the tempo, guys. It favors them, and just look at that score.
Well, that's where they have the advantage tonight. They're just a better team in transition.
Got that one, and the Minnesota lead has been cut down to 9 in the bucket from Lopez. Towns, the pass to Jang. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. Towns has got 6 assists in the game. Caldwell Pope kicks to Batum. Tipped away. Ball dishes to Lopez. Pass to Randall. Now the feed to Batum. 6 on the shot clock. Muhammad with the steal. Up the floor. And finished off by Jang.
Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at both ends. Steals, fast break buckets, and the other team in scramble mode.
Ball kicks to Batum. There's the dish to Caldwell Pope. Knocked away. And that's out of bounds. The Lakers will retain possession.
And quickly, let's look at the numbers for Muhammad. He's around 10 points per game, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. And guys, he's making winning plays. It's as simple as that. Not a star player per se, but he makes his presence felt.
Well, yeah, lately he's been overachieving a little bit. Hopefully this is a sign of greater things to come.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. Andrew Bogut, he's checked in for Randall, and it's Dang in for Nicholas Batum.
Oh, he's just on fire now. You can't slow him down.
Here's Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
Ooh.
Oh, inflicting some punishment with the two-hand flush.
They're going for the throat. Lakers trail by 12. Ball with it. He's got 19. Stolen by Brooks. Towns kicks to Brooks. The kick outside to Butler. Here's Towns. Lays it up off the glass. Towns has got 12 points here in the second half.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Towns comes with a double team. Stolen by Brooks. And oh, here we go. Brooks got it. The fast break chance. Towns with it. Bogut picks him up. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Here's Jang. That shot, no good. Good D by Lopez. Knocked loose and stolen by Butler. Fast break, Minnesota. Here's Brooks. The shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. Brooks has got 8 points.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Timeout called the Lakers. Chris, it's hard at times to see just how effective a post player is on the defensive end beyond the blocks. What's the one thing that shows you a post player is doing an excellent job of defending for their team?
Well, look at the penetration of a great guard. Right now, guards are playing at such a high level and they're quicker. So when you see a guard attack, notice if that big man comes over and he has both feet planted. He doesn't have to get a charge, doesn't have to block, but does he stay vertical and does he get over there fast enough that the offensive guard that was trying to score can't get his shot up and has to change, either pass the ball or continue his dribble. Right now, a lot of defense is done by just being in the correct spot at the right time because you're not going to block the shot or you just want to deter the player from coming in. And so I would say watch how that player owns the paint defensively, not necessarily how he blocks shots, but by where he is on his position, can he help stop penetration from guards coming up top.
Oh, that's a great tutorial. The Lakers making a switch here. Nance is checked in. The Timberwolves also changing it up. Mahimi's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. Crawford comes in for Muhammad. And Jones subbed in for Brooks. Here's Caldwell Pope. 22 points for him. Pope loose. And the official signaled the backcourt violation. Not very careful there. And now we go to our rookie leaderboard to get a check on the players at the top of the freshman class in assists over the last 10 games. Lonzo Ball is second.
Really starting to connect with his teammates. I mean, a really heads-up player for a rookie.
Ingram, he's checked in for Luol Deng. Here's Jang. That's the 6th make from the field. He's taken 9 shots and missed but 3.
Yeah, these defenders just look a bit overmatched, especially inside.
And the foul called on Tyus Jones. That's his first foul. Minnesota on D. Got a piece of it. Caldwell Pope for 3. He makes his 10th basket of the night from the field. He has missed on 3 this game only.
And you can see the play calling this half. Another one from distance.
Well, that's because they made a concerted effort to get the shooters involved. Now they've built up the confidence.
Crawford passes to Mahimi. The shot by Butler. Nobody around. And right away, they match it with a three-pointer of their own.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
And Gorgui Dieng is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. So it's the Lakers now. They trail by 18. Caldwell Pope kicks to Ingram. 5 to shoot. Shoots from the baseline. They grab their own miss. The shot's good from Nance.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
It could be discouraging, frustrating, but you only have yourselves to blame. Box out.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Ball kicks to Nance. Poked away. Pass the ball. Bogut dishes the ball. There's the foul. It's on Mahinmi. That's his first foul. Zubac is checked in for Los Angeles. And here is Los Angeles now. It's an 18-point game. Crawford kicks to Butler. Shoots over Ingram. That's short off the rim. And turnovers have been the issue for him.
You can see the coaches have gotten into him a little bit about this. They've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. Oh, what terrific hustle. He's got a nose for the rebound.
Craig, he's ferocious when the ball goes up. Kicks it out to Crawford. Back to Jang. Foul on the play. Basket counts, so it'll be a three-point play chance.
Well, he played very poorly in the first half, but during the second half, he's feeling it. He's really flipped the on switch and owned it.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. And Luke Walton, the Lakers' 6th head coach in the last 6 seasons, counting interims. I think they're going to be patient with him, though, as he rebuilds.
I hope so. I mean, the fact that he's a familiar face, a SoCal native and a former Laker, helps by patience from the fans. Also, his deal is guaranteed through 2020. They need to give him a chance.
Mahinmi passes to Jang. Kicks it out to Crawford. Dishes it to Mahinmi. It's hauled in by Zubac. Zubac has got his 4th rebound in this one. Ingram wide open, and there's another one for the Lakers.
Ingram throwing into his jump shot. That's tough to guard.
Outside Butler. He dishes it to Mahinmi. And it's Ingram with the rebound. Ingram's got his 3rd rebound tonight, and it goes out of bounds. That one off Butler. Minnesota making a switch here. Gibson's checked in. And there's a minute 45 left in the 3rd quarter of the game. Now, here's Ball. Defended by Jones. Ball's knocked loose, and Nance kicks to Zubac. They set the pick. Just 4 to shoot. And that one's good. Ingram.
3-point range from his days at Duke. Ingram shoots with range.
1:19 left here in the 3rd quarter. The pass to Mahinmi. Here's Gibson. Outside Butler. Now, here's Mahinmi. Defense right on him. And the foul called on Tyus Jones. That's foul number 2 for him. Muhammad, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. 55 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. It's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession.
A moment here to see the stats for Butler. The last 10 games, he has been on a heck of a run. 8th in steals, and he's in the top 10 in field goal percentage. Really able to power his way to the bucket and finish through contact.
And talk about being top 10 in steals. I love his jumping the passing lanes and then stealing away your dribble. And slam dunk by Ingram.
Continuing to pour it on. Ingram's found the groove.
Muhammad dishes to Mahinmi. Butler passes to Gibson. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. They get the rebound. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
And able to pad his stats a little bit there on that play. The board and the bucket.
And you know, Greg, that'll put him in the good graces of that coaching staff, too. My goodness. Here's Mahinmi. And Mahinmi with the stuff.
And showing a good nose for the ball there. Picks it clean. Then he's off to the races.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to waste that effort. You want to cash in on these extra possessions. They certainly did that time.
There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Now here's Ingram.
Oh! Shades of KD and Dr. J. Ingram floating to the rim.
Now here's Jones. Butler in the corner. No good on the triple. And so it's Minnesota holding on to an 11-point cushion as we get ready to take a break. And they've created a bunch of turnovers with that terrific D. Back to the action after this word. Now let's hear what Coach Tom Thibodeau was reviewing with his team in the huddle.
Keep digging, man. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Keep fighting every loose ball. Make it hard on them. Make them hard.
And there's Tom Thibodeau focusing on the toughness and efforts he'd like to see from his team.
Yeah, he wants them to just leave no stone unturned, take advantage of every opportunity, and that's going to be the roadmap to success.
Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know. So on the floor for Minnesota, Jones and Butler in the backcourt. Cole Aldrich is out there with Taj Gibson, and it's Muhammad in at the small forward position. Timberwolves leading by 11. Here's Butler, and 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And the Lakers get called for the foul.
And it's so easy to admire Jimmy Butler. I mean, creative at making the D hit him there on the way up.
Well, Jimmy Butler, let's not forget, has already won the NBA's most improved player. I think he did so back in 2015. That's just his type. He's always going to get better. He's a hard worker.
And as strange as it is for a player to win the most improved award twice, Butler certainly earned a look.
Well, yeah, it's rare to see an all-star level player get that much better in 1 year. And what am I talking about? Butler scoring, rebounding, assists. They were all improved upon. You can understand why he didn't win most improved again, but good to see him in the conversation.
To the paint, passes it to Aldrich. And Gibson kicks to Aldrich. And Muhammad has it in the corner. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Muhammad's got 19 points.
Yeah, how about the percentage they're shooting from beyond the arc here in the second half?
Batum dishes the ball. Nance a screen. Ingram kicks to Batum. Floats one up. Left side, Gibson trying to find Jones. He gets it to him. Lays it up off the glass. And the Timberwolves lead by 19.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Knocks it loose. It's stolen by Jones. Out of bounds, the Lakers will take possession. And Los Angeles with some changes. Lopez, he's checked in for Zubac. And Julius Randle subbed in for Nance. Aaron Brooks is checked in for the Timberwolves. Batum passes to Ingram. Knocks it loose. Butler with the steal. And there's Muhammad. That's good on the assist by Butler. Muhammad's got 5 points now this quarter.
Yeah, getting theirs before the defense can set up.
Now, that's just the aggressiveness of transition, making sure they come away with points.
Ball dishes to Batum. Poked away. Shot clock at 6. Down low. Here's Muhammad. And it's good. He's made 2 for every 1 he's missed. 10 of 15 in the contest.
Still attacking. Building on this lead coming down the stretch.
Well, what I like about it most is he's doing it efficiently.
Nice shot by Brooks.
And there it is again. They get careless with the basketball, and immediately it costs them.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end.
Timeout.
And the Lakers call time here. And Chris, it's a players' league, and yet the officials, of course, have an impact on games. I'm thinking of a certain Game 6 back in 2002. In your opinion, how does the league ensure greater consistency with the officiating of games?
Well, I promised myself, Kevin, thanks for bringing up 2002, that I would never think about that aloud. You know, I'm going to have to go lay on somebody's couch after we do this game right here. But I think the league just has to be transparent. They have to let fans know when the ref is messed up. We're all human, so I think it comes into play when you aren't transparent, when you aren't honest with your fans, because we have the smartest fans of any sport, I believe. And so I think transparency is good, but human error is always going to be in there as long as it doesn't go back to the type of human error we saw in 2002. 2002.
But Chris, I do sense that is a goal of theirs, and bit by bit they're getting toward that goal.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I believe that our league has done some great jobs when it comes to advancing referees and how the game is officiated. When you look at, not only do we have the referee center back in New York, where the referees now can go and get help, and the game is faster, and also we have 3 refs on the floor, and so and we have the best condition refs, and so I think the game is just going to be better because we have passionate refs, we have passionate officials, and passionate players, and we're going to work together to make sure that this game is the best for every fan to be presented to, and also that every player has a chance to win a championship and don't have their heart broken.
And you look at today's players, they have so many more ways to connect with their fans. But Chris, at times, do you think that creates added pressure for the players?
Every player has pressure. I don't know about added pressure, but I do think it's a different time with social media, and you can hear everyone's opinion. So I think that you need to focus more if you're an athlete, but I don't think it adds more pressure. Because whether or not someone can type it or say it in your face or boo you at a game, you're going to hear those words.
If you let him get that deep, this is what you can expect.
Yeah, well, with his toughness and skills in there, it's a rough problem to fix.
Ennis passes to Hart. Randall kicks to Ennis. Gibson against Lopez. It's good. The assist that time for Ennis. 15 points for Brook Lopez. Minnesota leading by 20. Outside Gibson. Pass to Georges Hunt. A putback, a rebound by the Lakers. Lopez has got his 8th rebound here tonight. Dang, and a little luck that time, but it drops. Tang's got 5 points in the quarter.
Well, that's a streak shooter. Each attempt he makes good on, you see his confidence build.
Brooks kicks to Aldridge. Here's Georges Hunt. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. And the Timberwolves lead by 20.
Just no resistance on the inside. That's their 5th consecutive make in the paint.
Randall with the ball. Now guarded by Gibson. Lopez right side. Shot on the wing. The putback. Great positioning on the putback.
See what Randall can do when in full attack mode? There, birding off of the miss.
And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. Here's Hart. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time.
I mean, these giveaways aren't doing them any favors on the scoreboard.
And the Lakers making a change here. Brooks kicks to Gibson. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. And Bjelica has it in the corner. Good on the three-point shot. Lakers trailed by 21. Caldwell Pope on the wing. Kicks the ball. Picked by Randall. Caldwell Pope outside. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Ball. And again, Los Angeles with a triple.
He has a lot of points from long range this half. He's taken advantage of a really tired defense.
And the Timberwolves call timing.
Well, I just watch KCP out there, and whether it's on the ball or off the ball, he's so active with his feet and his hands. He's so hard to shake. He can hound a perimeter threat all game long.
Timberwolves leading by 18. And with KCP, he'll often draw the premier perimeter threat as his defensive assignment, which he welcomes. More often than not, Chris, he'll find a way to slow him down.
This is ability on both ends on the floor. KCP, his skill set, that's what coaches love about him. He can lock you up on D, but he can also be a challenge for a defender on the other end.
And how about the fast hands and then getting right out in transition?
I mean, look, I was going to say you're attacking on both ends, quickly going from defense to offense.
Minnesota's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Down low, out to Brooks. Well, the league has begun a program to crunch the numbers and learn how to reduce player injuries. It's just getting started. But, Chris, exciting to think that we'd be able to cut down on that part of the game.
Oh, yeah. You're talking to a guy that suffered injuries most of my career. I'm glad that we have more information now as far as, looking on the bench. You have player tracking cameras, the nutrition. You have more research and flexibility and strength. And so now it can all be measured. And as long as the players-doctor relationship is kept in privacy, I think it'll make a big difference.
Just 5 to shoot to the wing right side. And stolen by Butler. And Muhammad kicks to Butler. Now Brooks. Butler dishes to Gibson. There's the triple. And Muhammad the bucket on the assist by Gibson. Gibson's got 6 assists here tonight.
This is an amazing run he's on. It's like he's been the only guy on the floor this quarter.
Ball kicks to Caldwell Pope. To end the run. And he's fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming up.
Well, the scrawny strength, the skinny strength of Caldwell Pope catches defenders by surprise. So good at getting fouled and still finding a way to bury the shot.
And Los Angeles will go for a different look here. Andrew Bogut checked in for Lopez. Ivica Zubac has checked in for Julius Randle. Luol Deng is checked in for Nicholas Batum. And it's Tyler Ennis in for Ball. Gibson passes to Towns. Back to Gibson. Marked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. Chris, bench celebrations can be seen as showing up the other team. Is there a balance in your mind of how players can celebrate without maybe rubbing it in the other team's face?
I mean, this isn't baseball. If basketball was baseball, if we hit a home run, then we could trot, turn around, spin. We don't, you can have respect for your players by how hard you play against them, by preparing for them, by, not playing dirty. But basketball, no. No, the culture is in the parks. The culture is with guys that play, and the bench should have as much fun. I love watching the benches go crazy. Think of how hard those guys on the bench work all season long and may never get in. What's wrong with being hyped for your teammates? No, I don't think it should be turned. I love it. Actually, I think some of these benches need to turn it up even more. Hopefully, we get a better show on the bench.
Butler dishes to Gibson. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Gibson's got 20 points. Lakers trail by 19. Ball kicks to Randle. Feeds it to Ball. Picked by Randle for 3. Caldwell Pope. And another 3 for the Lakers.
And how about the consistency from range tonight? Really impressive.
That's because he's finding his spots. No hesitation. You can sense his confidence.
Batum with the steal. And now here's Batum, the fast break opportunity. Lays it up and banks it in.
And the long legs of Batum, that's what allows him to leak out so quickly in transition. He runs the floor like a Jaguar.
And Muhammad kicks to Towns. And the dunk by Towns.
Man, he sure can get off the floor.
He one of the best in the business, absolutely. And the Lakers call time here. Lakers setting a record last season for the most losses by 35 points or more in NBA history.
Yeah, fair to say that's not the kind of history you want to set. But Coach Luke Walton is accustomed to being on the winning side of those kind of beatdowns in Golden State. The team made a lot of moves in the offseason to try and avoid that again this year.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they've got to talk about.
Oh, this is ugly. No question about it. And you wonder if these matchups aren't favoring them right now.
Now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Karl Anthony Towns.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
Well, to come in here facing a hostile crowd and have a game like he's had, that's what separates the good players from the great players. And here is Los Angeles now. Ball kicks to Caldwell Pope. Whistle on the play. Bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
And Caldwell Pope just blows past defenders with his speed. Just a sensational finisher all around the bucket.
That free throw good from Caldwell Pope.
And one of the more surprising moves this past offseason was when the Pistons let KCP go. Two sides couldn't see eye to eye on a contract, and eventually they let him be an unrestricted free agent.
Quick shot there, and it's off target.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Oh, he caught him in stride with the lead pass. Now that was time.
Lakers trail by 15. And Greg, Caldwell Pope ultimately ends up on the Los Angeles Lakers. Strange to see such a talented player get renounced by his old team, the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, you just don't see that very often. And after the Bradley trade, the Pistons seemed ready to move on. Lucky for the Lakers to pick up a player like Caldwell Pope so late in free agency.
And here is ball. Lopez passes to Randall. Caldwell Pope for three. And again, it's the Lakers from deep.
And Caldwell Pope can be a volume three-point shooter, meaning when he gets a lot of attempts from there, he can fill it up from downtown.
And Gibson kicks to Towns. Left side, Gibson. It's hauled in by Los Angeles.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim. And see, he has the talent to do more of this. Take command of the offense.
Timberwolves leading by 8. Towns dishes to Gibson. No good, unable to end this run.
I still can't believe that one didn't fall.
Ball, the pass to Randall. And Randall throws it down.
And you have to have an appreciation for Ball's passing skills. I mean, he just sees the floor beautifully, easily working the ball over to open teammates.
Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
Once he gets open on the low block, it's just a matter of getting him the ball.
The Lakers shooting has been out of this world, 74% from the field. They set the pick. Caldwell Pope kicks to Batum. No one near Randall as he lets it go from outside off the mark.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Brooks outside. Gibson dishes to Towns. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. No good from Gibson. Maybe at this point, not much of a chance for a comeback.
Yeah, you got a better chance of walking through a lion's den with pork chop underwear on.
Towns with it. Outside Butler. Here's Gibson. He cans that one. And it's a 10-point Timberwolves lead.
Yeah, with this lead, that's probably going to do it. Fans heading for the exits.
Wow, this is just a huge road win. These guys banded together. Just an awesome performance.
And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this...
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony...